Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to an installment in the Quickview series. This one, I don't know if it's a rear view at this point. I know that I have seen these on A-Main for a long time. Apparently, LOS 43013, the Maxxis Creepy Crawler LT, has been around for some quite long time, and no one ever buys them or uses them because A, they're huge. They're like tires of yore. Remember the banana hands. How about a 575 Tusk? They're bigger than 575 Tusks, and that's not why people aren't using them. I'm assuming people aren't using them for a number of reasons, and leading amongst which is, for the longest time on A-Main, these were $57.99 a pair, which is the single most expensive tire that I can think of in a 1922. I mean, you can get into some crazy, like you get into SEX6s and stuff, the tires get pretty big. But if you want to know how long an insert has been living inside a tire, well, this insert was born glimmerin', gleamin' white, and is now marble rye. It's a nice little marble rye, and perhaps even more importantly, look how quickly the color changes. I just pulled this one out of this tire right now. You just saw it happen. And I pulled these out about 30 minutes ago, between 20 and 30 minutes ago. It looks like pound cake or marble rye, and no. It's not a medium. It's certainly something past this is fiberboard, the stuff they make speaker boxes out of. These are ridiculous on the one hand. I hit one with a heat gun that's the lightest one. The lightest one has been heat gun passed to try to get it back to its sort of original shape. They are absolutely enormous. Bigger, wider. These are full over stuff, and the density of the foam is medium hard. It's not full RC four-wheel drive grade, but they are incredibly stiff. You could make a little this is sofa cushion. It feels like a sofa cushion. It is entirely too firm unless the vehicle you're fitting it to weighs, I don't know, 20 pounds. I'll do it right. So we are going to substitute foam, and when you want to substitute foam in a tire this big, you have a couple options. And by a couple, I mean literally a couple. We had two options here. I could have pulled the stock inserts out of those Tusks, which would have definitely been too narrow and would have flopped around all willy-nilly side to side. Or I have a set that is, of course, four 4mm vent holes. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. If you want to do 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, that's fine. That's fine. I've never noticed any change in performance by moving the holes around. A set of tires came into the Canyon some long ago. These are definitely like electric knife cut out of something else, but they are also pretty much the perfect size to fill these tires. And as we know who's doing the testing, we know that they don't need a tremendous amount of tire support or sidewall support, as about 3 kilos on the rocks with the full cage and everything. See? Fits nice. Not too bagged out. Typical, we run cheap 2.2s. This is even a 105 for testing. Ring drops right in, and because we're not trying to force this thing around a foam that is far too large, these quite literally fall together Screw. These wheels are starting to get a little tired. I've said before, one of the drawbacks of buying rims that are $20, $30, $40 a set, not a pair, but a set, is they were never designed nor intended in terms of the material or anything to be put together and taken apart 100 times. Bead locks are intended to be removable. That's why we do this. But most people are not subjecting a wheel to what this poor set of wheels has been exposed to during its work life. They have been assembled, disassembled, and reassembled probably 100 times. They are a little bit on the soft side, and I think they feel a little bit extra on the soft side because they are quite enormous. How different would it have been? I mean, it would have fit, but it would have been too narrow. We would have had a lot of pouch on the sides. This is a little firm. This is a proper medium. If I notice real side folding, we may have to revisit a foam solution, or will we? The reason these are here is during a recent inexplicable, most of the sales conducted by Horizon Hobbies, whether it be through their tower, whether it be through Horizon themselves, are just inexplicable. They get to a certain time of year and somebody's like, get that stuff out the warehouse. And we get stuff on, like, these were $20 a pair, which is reasonably cheap for any crawler, name brand crawler tire. And if my math is right, about 65% off. So that's why we're finding out if they're any good. 154, which is 6 inches. And when I say 6 inches, I mean, there's the line for 6 inches. 154 by, oh, big. 154 by 58, 2 1/4. These are real big. We've tested some big tires here. These are definitely up there. Honestly, it's quite soft. I don't think it's going to be too soft. It's going to look ridiculous. This is full moon buggy action. I don't think it's going to be too soft because he doesn't present a lot of PSI. There's not a lot to him. He's really quite long. So I have some hopes. Now, do I have hopes regarding the compound? I don't know. I know that when you cut the top off the little hang tag bag, you put your nose down over the top of that bag and you give it a smell. It smells like rubber. It just smells like rubber. These smell exactly like going down to the tire center, which means if there was something exotic in this tire, and I don't believe that there was, if there was at one point, that exotic stuff is all right there now. It lives inside this foam. I mean, these were gleaming white when they began. And they've just been soaking up all the VOCs. These smell weird. They've been soaking up the VOCs out of those tires for however long they've been in the back of the warehouse in those bags. These are a big thing. These are real big. So big that they look like they should be really, really heavy, but they're not. They feel absolutely average. Lighter than Duratrax. When I punched out the 16 holes, we're talking a fairly typical 2.5 millimeter thickness of carcass. The carcass looks uniform all the way around. There is no ribbing. There is no belting. The bead does look a little bit like a glue bead, but it does have the internal ridge. So I don't know explicitly what wheel it was designed for. It was a long time ago. But as you saw, they fall right on to bead locks and they don't want to slip. So they mount well. They mount very easily. And we are at a time where, I don't know about today as of this recording, but there was a time, not in the far distant future, where you could get these for $20 a pair. Now, horrible foams aside, and by horrible, okay, they're not awful. You would need something very heavy. I don't know, like one of those big cross double XL things. Remember when I said he's 3 kilos? This is not, like, that's gonna be too much foam. Maybe on like one of those big crosses, because cross tires tend to be at the very best. Oh, he's like those things that the kids in the playground with the spring underneath. And then adults get on them and it rockets them into the side of the merry-go-round. Maxxis Creepy Crawler LT via Losi. And if you see a Losi crawler product, you know it's from the O-Day. So they're still available so far as I know. And they're about to head out onto the rocks. And we're about to find out one way or the other. Why $57.99 a pair based on their normal MSRP? No one, and I repeat, no one should ever buy these. At $20 a pair, the bar is somewhat lower. So we're gonna pretend that they're cheaper. We're gonna pretend that they always cost $20 a pair, because that puts us into, that's hotly contested area. Class 3, obviously, at 6 inches tall. Class 3 tire test protocol, 10 stations. I'm most curious, honestly. I want to see, like, lateral maneuverability and wet. Wet is the biggest question mark for these. Wolverine's ready. I'm ready. I hope you're ready, because we're headed out there. If I was going to call it something, I would call it 59-15-80. It's under 60 degrees, guys. It's under 60 degrees. It's turning into that time of year. These tires are really loud. These are that lifted Chevy pickup on the freeway. Wow, 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 with the Mickey Thompson roar going on. These make a lot of noise. Soft foam, though. God, they're so big. They are already, from what we've seen in like 30 odd seconds of movement, we're talking about a tire that grips better than its sound output would indicate. Usually the loud tire, as that German Audi engineer said, noise is power lost. And I believe it is the exact same with tires. If you're hearing a bunch of scrub noise, that is something not being turned into traction. They are not the grippiest thing I've ever seen. But we do have to take into some account that this is just a questionably gigantic scale tire. This is essential. I mean, these exist. The Maxxis Creepy Crawler LT exists. It's a real thing. You can get a 1/1 version of it, and there's always some little bit of lost in translation when you bring a scale tire to when you make a scale tire, right? Tires for toy cars tend to work better the more hieroglyphic they get. And honestly, the Creepy Crawler, this particular pattern with the bars and little sort of crooked diamonds, we've seen this so many times in so many other things. There's a lot of sound output. I remain unsure as to what these are for. Is this like bomber? These are very nearly good, but at the same time, I don't think that the compound nor the composition are having a big input on that. What we're experiencing here now is a bit of capacity of scale. They're a full 6 inches tall, and we've fitted them with an insert. Can I get some squash right here? That's squashing pretty good. I fitted them with an insert that is allowing the tire to conform certainly more than it would conform on the included foams. Hey, that's not bad. But then we swing back around and we remember, this is certainly a Class 3 tire that you're not going to compete with. It's an odd duck. We're ignoring from here forward. We will ignore $57.99 a pair, or at least try to, because at $20 a pair, you see what I'm saying? Maybe not so bad. I would go just a flat 9.5. Like, there is some inaccuracy, there is some see, it's this stuff right here. Get over, get over, get over. That hop out of the rear. We're getting that hop. Now, if we take it over onto the easy side, see what I'm saying? Slick Rock was precision engineered. Nah, it wasn't. When Slick Rock got laid down, I was like, nothing could conceivably crawl anything this steep. Fast forward, right? So there are parts of it of varying degrees of difficulty, and when we get out here into the middle where it gets tougher, baseline on a set of canyon trails just outright murders that, and we've really got to find our way with these. 9.5 feels pretty good. Without regard to how many times I've run this protocol, I still never feel like camera 2 is in a proper spot. I can't, it doesn't ever feels right. They're not finishers. They are by no means terrible. But they also get. I know I've said it before. It has definitely come up in the past, but I feel like we're benchmarking 5.7, 5 and up tires again. Like, I feel like in the full-blown, the big, showdowns and the 2.2 deep woods and tusks and all the full-size 2.2s. We're kind of benchmarking like medium, painful as to say, middling level of performance. Now, these are tires of days gone by, which, A, is an excuse that you can use in either direction. We can say, tires have gotten better, right? Like, the compounds have gotten better. The knowledge of how to make a tire to crawl a rock has gotten better. They have more information to draw from. But at the same time, these would be era comparable to tires of hushed tones, Panther Cougars, Chisels, HPI Sedonas, where you're talking about the real deals, the real deals. And these are a 5.75 scale tire, which I'm trying to think that there's a little hang point right there. Just diagonally of where the lamp is positioned. A little jut. Everybody hangs on that because nobody is capra portals and 6 inches tall. So it just goes right over it. Like that lip, that rear lip. We're going to sidle. We're going to cut around. The foam is surprisingly close. Ah. They are good enough that I would say if you got these for $20 a pair and you're gonna put them on something suitably large, G-Made Gom maybe, these would be certifiably all right. But I will acknowledge, and I think most will agree, that 154 by 58 is a very particular fitment. And we're not singling out the Creepy Crawler. The 2.2 Proline Baja Pro X is an extremely limited fitment tire. And as it's not a rock crawling tire, I would basically call it all-rounder. That's what I have on my GOM, because the GOM is not explicitly a rock crawler. These feel a bit more crawly than that. The capacity of scale right here and the amount of slip we're gonna get, these will actually do fairly well on the side hill. It's not like the compound is just non-existent. I think it's too much lug. I think if somebody wanted to get more rock out of them, the flush cutters are coming out and you're cutting lugs off and you're siping the outsides to make them a little more, again, now I'm coming to 20 bucks a pair, you know? 20 bucks a pair is a tire you don't mind taking the nippers to. They don't wallow, even on that very soft insert. I'm not mad at these. I like the look. I think they are, ooh, that was good through there. They are really proportionate in their hugeness. But I have to evaluate them. They cannot be studied in a vacuum. I have to evaluate them against their contemporaries. And if we're talking about full size 5.75s, my mind goes to the Tusk and the Landmine, and we haven't talked about rock bumps. But again, I don't think anyone is putting these on the same fitment as a rock bump. So I'm thinking giant cross tow truck? I don't know. How does this tree need trimmed already? Like, pepper trees don't care what time of year it is. They don't care what the weather's like. They just grow. Luggy and noisy. But you know what they are? As Jeremy Clarkson would say, they're pretty tidy. Like they stay in their line. They're not all over the place. I've never had a tire, I don't think. Nothing's popping to mind. I've never had a tire that had a very median grip level that I wasn't like, ugh, here we go again. I think in particularly high grip, I think these might be okay. These might be okay. This does not feel like R35. I know it would probably predate R35 as a compound. It doesn't feel like that. As I said, they do smell like the Costco Tire Center, but they genuinely drive a bit better. The exotics are maybe inside those foams, but if that is the case, that's almost a better selling point. The sidewall integrity is still 100. They're still supple enough. They're noisy. I think they're going to be long wear. They look long wear, which again, what are they? Emo double X? Emo triple X? Whatever the giant crosses are now? Maybe that? Oh, that big cross. Would they be too big? One of those the big cross or the GOM are the only things I can think of off the top of my head. Or Wraith Bomber ye olden times. Because it's a 575. But if you're looking at a 575 for performance only, I tell everyone, and I'll tell you right now, you just buy rock bumps. They are as grippy as those hieroglyphic tires of yore. It seems impossible. And they don't care if it's wet, they don't care if it's sandy, they don't care if it's loamy, they don't care about anything. The little pin bars are so shallow, they basically can't build up. These are, so I haven't been saying numbers, because these are so 9.5. Like, such a medium level of performance out of a tire. I'm already starting to forget how big they are. When you film at the same time every day, you get seasonaled. Sometimes the shadows are terrible. When they say clear skies, there's not a speck in the sky today. They're definitely up there. They're definitely up there. Top 3 tires that make an absolute ruckus with the lug noise, but still pull. Ooh, that was a little floppy. How are you better on the soft side than you are on this side? They really do make every effort to stay in their lane. And I'm not making any efforts to introduce myself into math. There it is. There's some nice wrap over by that tire. Every time it does something that I go, hey, it does something where I go, oh. For an all-rounder, they feel very Baja Pro X. Not a lot. Any kick? Any big kick? Can we get a big kick? It's like in slow motion. It's like we've turned the frames down. It's not bad. It's so absolutely middle of the pack that, you know, at $20 a pair for fitment : 3 question marks. It's all right. I don't think, though, that they are going to be particularly chuffed to be presented with this. Oh, that's a good size spiderweb there. I think they want a surface that's pushing back with a bit more grip for them. Okay, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Get that driver front out on the prow of that wheelbarrow and don't fall off of it. Ooh, we are very wide. There's a definite point where you get to a point in the profile, right there, we can use the squishiness. Now, if we had those big heavy duty inserts on there, they're not going to do it. You can maybe go a grade stiffer in the rear. We already got the yellow one, so we don't mind if we hit the white one. That rear, it's the lug spacing. This is, for this sort of a task, if I can hook that, there you go. You can drive to it. You can drive to the tire and it will kind of reward, but I think ultimately what you're working with is you're working with a tire that just wants GP. It wants general purpose usage. I'm not sure what that is. If I'm putting a buggy together, I mean, there's the obvious choices out there, and those obvious choices are obvious for a reason. They can drive. They can crawl. They're so 9.5. Look at the size of those tire tracks leading up there in the dirt. They do grip better than you would think, based on the feel, based on the lack of that exotic smell to the compound, based on how much lug noise they're putting out. How much of that is capacity of scale? Would they respond better or worse to, say, double the weight that they have on them now? If we're in the 6 kilo rig instead. Okay. Beauty part about that is, though, if they are indeed still available at $20 a pair, you could indeed find out. They have not failed abjectly at anything. We made gate 5, sort of. I mean, we knocked both markers off, but it made it. We managed to pull up over the wheelbarrow, so I'm not mad at it, because I've incepted myself. That was an excellent in cut by that front tire. We have 2 stops remaining. We've got Tumbledore and we've got Wet. As it stands right now, because it does a little better here and a little worse there and a little better here, but like that 2/10 variance, I would basically go 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5 to get where we are now. It's sitting on a 9.5. Performance at the 3 stops on Tumbledore and performance on Wet are going to determine if this tire is like low to mid 95s or upper 94s. It's not like, as a rock crawling tire, as a class 3 tire, you have a surprising number of options. You can still buy Sedonas today. These are not getting in the same zip code as Sedonas. Now, same area code. Let's go bigger. They're not getting in the same country code as Sedonas, but they're $20 a pair, and they're not that bad, I guess. These are not Oz. They are neither great nor terrible. They will do the thing. They have the feel of them of a pretty darn good RTR tire. Now, when we get to, when we get over to Tumbledore, there it is. We get into a spot where we're getting into where we're asking a lot of the tire. And I think this may be slightly above and or outside of the Creepy Crawler wheelhouse. Okay. That was the opener. That was the intro. Then we do left hand. Got a little squidgy on me there. But didn't fall to earth yet. They are very wide. Like, it maintains, we keep stability. But just a very average degree of failure there. Like, the width isn't helping, they're very wide. They just don't have enough, they don't quite have enough independent grip for one pair to haul the other pair with it. You got to maneuver them. A little more, right up there, okay. That's where I want to be, right there. Now don't tippy, don't do that, don't do that. This is just so 95 stuff. Luckily, no one can tell me to run them backwards because they are just fully symmetrical. Left hand, right hand, same exact tire. Thought I had it. Let's bail out where we'll still hole. I would like to point out that on Tumbledore, as a component of the Class 3 protocol, failing to complete each station doesn't necessarily drop you below a 9.5 on the obstacle. Failing to breach onto the obstacle will do that. Come on, come on. Use your girth. It's just so right there in the middle. It's so right there in the middle. So long as we neglect to recall $57.99, 20 bucks a pair. These are absolutely fine, all-purpose. I mean, you can't put a 575 silicone in them because they'd be so heavy that they would try to tear the pins out of your axles. Somewhere, someone has a fitment for these. On the lug face, there is virtually no evidence that these have ever even been run. There's certainly no feather. At the very leading edge of the lug, it's a little bit clean from where it's cleaned the dust off. These are gonna have a score that for a tire of the size is gonna look kind of bad. But in reality, I don't think it is. I still haven't fixed the sprayer because it provides a passable level of performance. It provides a Losi Maxxis Creepy Crawler LT level of performance. It gets the job done. What do we got? It is exactly as I had anticipated. Let me get another one. Let me get another one. Yeah. You know what this tire is? This tire is just simply... Got that one. Simply acceptable. So you will unquestionably be able to spend your money on tires that are much worse, tires that are much better. And I am fully comfortable giving the Maxxis Creepy Crawler LT in the Losi bag a 95.0. There's only one other tire on the tire test protocol spreadsheet that has a 95.0. The uncut, straight out of the bag, 1.9 Maxxis Canyon Trail, which is kind of my go-to setting point for a 1.9 tire should be better than this and never worse. And in a 2.2 in the full 575, I would say that this classifies as well. The Baja Pro X, if you're curious, scored a 95.5. The 2.2 Baja Boss scored a 95.7. The Pitbull Rock Piece 2 and 2.2 is a 95.9. And then below that, do we have many 2.2s down there? Yeah, Scorpios. The 525 Scorpio did not do remarkably well. Then, of course, you get down to the terrible stuff. The G-Made 2202s. Any of the fake stuff. Fake Hyrax. Stuff with names that are just scrambles of words together. Fake berserkers, super berserks, and on and on and on. So, it's not the 2.2 Vanquish Geolander XMT scored a 95.2. And that's accurate. I feel even better about these getting a 95. They're kind of just right there. And the fitment is, I still classify the fitment as more limited than even other full 575 2.2 tires. If you want outright absolute performance, you basically have two choices. J-Concepts rock bumps and HPI Sedonas, which both have their own limitations of fitment. If you have something big and you need a tire that looks like an LT radial, like a cross or something, I can absolutely see it at $20 a pair. So I just need to share with you an absolute closing. I said $57.99 because I haven't looked these up in a long time. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If they cost that for a set of 4, absolutely not. I saw the pre-mounts. The pre-mounts at A-Main Hobbies are $83 a pair. At $20 a pair, this product was added to our catalog on March 2, 2017. Okay, so they don't even get the excuses. They don't even get the excuses. The 1/6 scale size are cheaper. The 1/6 Maxxis Creepy Crawler LT 3.6 with inserts are $63.99 a pair. What is going on? What is going on? It's a Horizon thing, I guess. I don't know. At $69.99 a pair, absolutely not. Under no circumstances. I circle all the way back around to at their normal everyday price, which was $57.99 and is now apparently $69.99. It's as if they don't want to sell them. No one should ever buy these. Ever. Unless you can get them for $20 a pair. At $20 a pair, I feel pretty good walking away with that 95. They're not bad in wet. They're not bad messing around. But my God. I said that we weren't going to talk about $57.99, and then I looked it up and saw $69.99. Absolutely unacceptable. To the point where it almost puts a bad taste in my mouth about it. But the gentleman who was kind enough to buy these and have them drop by the canyon before they move on to their forever home, he can sleep soundly in the knowledge that they are absolutely fine for a very small number of fitments. But you know, I genuinely expected nothing. And we indeed did get slightly more than that.